Welcome to the Don't Get Fooled Show with Greg Renner's NFL Week 12. Let's go, guys.
Bam. All right, boys and girls, NFL Week 12. Cannot wait. Once again, feels like a juicy weekend, Big Ree. Cannot wait to get right into the docket, and it's going to be a really juicy weekend. Jump on the money train. So without further ado, here we go, boys and girls. Aquí vamos. Chicos y chicas. All right, let's go. Game one. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Tennessee Titans. The Seahawks are a 13-point favorite. Seattle 7-3, coming off a 21-19 loss to the Rams. They put up 414 yards, but Sam Darnold had 4 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. And then they've given up 14 points early in that game, but then after that, the defense played pretty good. You know, they gave up 14 first quarter points, but the last 3 quarters, I mean, they basically limited Rams to just 7 points, snapped a 4-game winning streak for the Seattle. And then we have Tennessee. They're coming off a 16-13 loss to the Texans. They played horrible, honestly, until the last drive. They put up a drive and got a touchdown. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Only win on the season, 22-21 versus Arizona. Wide receiver Calvin Ridley has been announced that he's out for the season with an injury. Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick, 58% completion, 1,900 yards, 6 touchdowns. 6 interceptions, has not thrown more than 1 touchdown in any game all season. And 6, here's my thoughts here. First of all, 6 of the 9 losses are by double digits for Tennessee. 6 of their 9 losses. And I like Kenneth Walker to have a big game here against Tennessee. I think he has at least 100 yards. Sam Darnold have at least 2 throwing touchdowns. I don't see Tennessee putting up more than 14 points, and I see Seattle to put up at least 28. At least, you do that math, simple math, 28-14. That's a 14-point victory at a minimum. And so I'm taking Seattle minus 13. All right, game 2. We got the Carolina Panthers at the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are a 6.5-point favorite. Carolina 6-5, coming off a 30-27 overtime win versus Atlanta. They put up 486 points. They were down 21-7 and then came back.
Yards, not points. So.
Yeah, put up 486 yards. They were down 21-7 and came back. Bryce Young, 31 for 45, 448 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And then we got the Niners, 7-4, coming off a 41-22 win versus Arizona. They were up 35-10 here, just blew them out. They did give up 488 yards to Arizona, though. Brock Purdy returned 19 for 26. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. And there's my thoughts here. First of all, San Francisco, they beat a lot of crappy teams. And they struggle or barely win versus good teams. And then we got Carolina, who is 5-2 in their last 7 games. And then we got the Niners. Here's a big stat that I want you to think about. They've given up at least 22 points in 7 of their last 8 games. At least 22 points in 7 of their last 8 games. And I think Bryce Young has finally found the momentum that he's been waiting for in his second season. He's playing with a lot of confidence. If you watch him, they finally have a legit number 1 receiver. McMillan has proven now this guy is legit. The rookie out of Arizona. And I don't see any way that San Francisco wins by over 6 points. I'm not buying them at all. And I'm taking Carolina plus 6.5. All right, game 3. We got the New England Patriots 9-2 versus at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Patriots are an 8-point favorite here. Patriots 9-2 coming off a 27-14 win versus the Jets. They are on an 8-game winning streak. Quarterback Drake May, 71% completion, 2,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season. Only loss was in week 1 and 3, where they started 1-2, and then they've just been running the table ever since. Rookie running back Henderson is playing really well, 492 yards, 4.9 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns on the season. Then we got the Bengals 3-7. They're coming off a 34-12 loss to Pittsburgh. They're on a 3-game losing streak, and they lost 7 of their last 8 games. Jamar Chase is out for this game, most likely. He's been suspended for 1 game for an altercation with Jalen Ramsey. And, here's my thoughts here. They're the 2 good wins for Patriots. They beat the Bills 23-20 in week 5, and they beat Tampa Bay 28-23 in week 10. Cincinnati has been averaging averaging 27 points over their last 6 games. So they're putting up points. Pats, look, they're playing the Bengals, and then they play the Giants. And then after that, they play Buffalo and then Baltimore. And I think the Pats here are just going to want to try to come into this game and next week as well, just get these wins against the Bengals and Giants and be ready for Buffalo and Baltimore in those 2 big games. I think they overlook Bengals. I have the Patriots on upset alert here, boys and girls. Upset alert. This is my lock of the week. I'm taking the Bengals +8. All right, Big Ree, let's go.
First game I got is the Giants at the Lions. Giants coming off a 27-20 loss versus the Packers. Lions coming off a 16-9 loss to the Eagles. Giants played amazing versus the Packers, and props to them. The score looks bad, but it was a lot closer than people think, and they gave the Packers a run for their money. While the Lions offense was nowhere to be found, as Ace mentioned. Some key points just to point out here. 1, the Giants were at home and the Lions were on the road. Now it's the exact opposite. The Giants are on the road and the Lions are at home. 2, Lions were going up against the Eagles defense. Now they're going to go up against the Giants defense. And 3, this was a primetime game where everyone was watching and Lions lost and looked bad. So everyone's going to overreact and take the Giants. And I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to take the Lions -9.5. The second game I got is the Jaguars at the Cardinals. Jags are coming off a huge blowout win, 35-6 versus the Chargers. Cardinals coming off a 41-22 loss to the Niners. Jags looked amazing, but they beat up a Chargers team at home, but this was versus a banged up Chargers team who has no O-line. Their receivers were asleep. Arizona was playing at home versus a much better 49ers team. Jacoby Brissett will bounce back, and the Cardinals are going to win straight up. And I'm taking the Cardinals +3 by half a point there. That's my lock of the week. The last game I got is the Jets at the Ravens. Jets are coming off a 27-14 loss to the Patriots on Thursday night. Ravens coming off a 23-16 win versus the Browns. The Jets were manhandled and from start to finish, while the Browns kept it close versus the Ravens until Shador had to come in. Let's be real, the Ravens are much better here, but I just think the Jets keep this close. I don't think they get blown out. And I'm taking the Jets +13.5.
All right, one thing I want to throw in on my pick of Carolina versus the Niners. I like Carolina +6.5. It'd be a good idea to buy it up to 7. Get them at +7. Makes perfect sense.
So your official pick is +7.
+7. Yeah, I'm taking the Carolina +7. I'm buying that point up. It just makes sense there.
Okay.
All right. All right. Good luck, boys and girls.